I'm Dan Galushin. Welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. We're back with the Crosman Panther Arms DPMS, and we're actually going to shoot it today. Yep, we are. Got the magazine in it and everything else, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back here. We're going to be firing at a target I've got set up right here. I'm going to see what the accuracy is like with the semi-auto setting and also full auto. And then we're going to do some plinking. I've already done a little bit of shooting, and I'll tell you, I really tore up some these cardboard inserts like I shoot at. In fact, I'm going to grab some and I'll show you. Okay, I grabbed the inserts here. I've been using the Black Widow BBs on them and some others that have not been as accurate, but you can see, and I'll bring these up, I really riddled them, and that's with full auto when I was shooting. It really knocked the sap out of them, didn't it? But that's the cardboard inserts, like I said, and we're going to be plinking at some stuff. Going to plink at some cans too. I had some cans around here that I shot at and tore those up pretty good too. The regular old Pepsi cans. Didn't take much to tear those apart, of course, because they're awful lightweight aluminum. Put these down. But what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to take this thing and we're going to shoot it at semi-auto and full auto and let you see what happens. We have had some problems with it, which I explained in another video where you can see how to load this magazine and also how to take this apart out in the field or wherever, and be careful not to lose the parts, and I show you how to do that. But there has been a problem with the semi-auto setting. It hasn't always been semi-auto. Put it there and it fires in bursts, and it's just because I think either the thing needs lubricated or there's a burr on this one part down in there that holds this mechanism that controls that firing. And you'll have to see that video to see what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to tear this thing apart now. We're going to go shooting is what we're going to do. And like I showed you in the first video, this little trigger right here takes that, and it's not supposed to do that. So have we got another problem? We just may. Never had that before. Huh. How you like that? Well, we got another thing to figure out and see how it works. Well, I figured it out. I had to go do that first. This little trigger right here that you push on, take it up close to you. This little trigger, you pull that, and you slide that out like that. Well, don't keep holding it down real tight and sliding her out, because she's going to go right past the spot. There's supposed to be 6 positions. There's one, another one, and then all the way up. I think it said 6 positions. Anyway, maybe that's my Smith & Wesson I got that's an M&P 15. But if you hold that down, that last one, evidently, it will come all the way out. So make sure you remember that. Now, hopefully, it's really there. And these sights come up, by the way. It's like that. They're a regular peep sight. And I've showed you all this in the overview, but I'm going to go over it again now because this is what we're going to be using. See the sight? Okay, you've got a small peep there. If you want a ghost sight, you just fold this little thing down like that. Now you have a ghost sight. Now a lot of times those ghost sights come in handy. I think though really what I'm going to be doing is using the smaller one. I'm not too sure. We might try it both ways just to see how it works. Depending on my eyes as to how they're doing. I know that sounds weird, but as everybody that follows Shootin' Plink knows, I've had some vision problems off and on. And sometimes, especially these peep sights, it really helps to have them, because I can change the aperture, such as my Skinner. My Skinner sights, I can't say enough of them. Skinner peep sights to me are #1. And they have 5 different apertures with those. I wish that this sort of a thing had the same thing. But again, that's, well, you can use those on air guns though. especially the ones that they have that are the rail mounts. You can use those too, and In a way, I'd like to try something like that on here and just see what it would do. Anyhow, we're going to shoot this, so let's go shooting. Okay, we're back here. I'm going to get that charged up, and we'll put it on semi-auto. And hopefully this thing's going to work this time. You can see the target there. We're going to see what we can do as far as some... Yeah, it's semi-auto. I don't know how well it's hitting. I'm going to go up there and take a look, and then I'll be back here with you. Looks like it's shooting just a little low, so I'll have to take into some consideration here what I'm doing. So I'll go up there and take another look. Well, I hit one right into the black, and just for the heck of it, I'm going to put this sight down. We're going to use the ghost sight, see if that helps any as far as hitting it. Now I'll go take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to switch this to full auto now. I'm going to use it on the ghost sight, and we'll see what we can do on the middle of it with this. And I run it out, so we're going to be reloading, but we're going to take a look at that too. Well, all those full autos hit right in that 3-inch circle, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch back to semi-auto and see if we had the same problem that we had before, because this is what happened. When I went from full to semi, it started bursting, so we'll find out if this will work or not. Oops, gotta charge it. Okay. Okay, looks like it's hitting towards the center, and we've got a few rounds left, of course. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take that down. We're going to start doing a little bit of plinking. I've got some of our good old K-cups sitting up there to shoot at. I want to see how that works. So that really drilled the center out on that paper target there, that stick-on, and we'll look at that later. But right now, we're going to try to do a little plinking in semi-auto. Better switch that and see if it does stay semi-auto. And I'll try it. First, we'll try. You know, the nice thing about Pepsi cans is they got a bullseye to shoot at. And I hit it, but you know, I'm hoping it's not staying in semi-auto. Kind of sounds like it. Knock that one off. Well, did pretty doggone good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fire this at that one Pepsi can there in full auto. Switch over to that because I've got a few rounds left, I think. I don't know. We'll find out. Yep. Okay, now we're going to take a look at that. Those are really on. That one, I re-blasted the logo, the Pepsi logo, and we're going to try this in full auto again because now I've got a full magazine here, and we're going to blast each one of those. Just kind of give them bursts, really. First we charge it up. Pretty good job on them, didn't it? Well, now what we're going to do is try a little bit of full auto on those K-cups and see how that works. Well, pretty doggone good. Now I'm going to switch back to semi-auto and see how that works with what's left up there. I think it's shooting again in bursts. Sounds like it. I'm going to load it up again and see. Accuracy wise, this thing is doing pretty doggone good, but it kind of annoys me on this problem we're having with this deal. We're going to see it in semi-auto. Yeah, I think it's shooting bursts again. I'm sure it is, because we've used quite a few and I haven't really pulled the trigger that many times. So we're definitely having a problem with that. Okay, we're back here again. I had to put the cans back up, see what happens here. I'm still trying in semi-auto, but I'm going to switch it to safe. And back and forth, see what we can find here, because it really shouldn't do this. Yeah, it's sitting. Well, we'll go after a K-cup. I don't know what sort of, it sounds to me like it's putting bursts out, and yet I had quite a few rounds left. Let's go again with it. You know, for the temperature it is out, we're getting quite a few rounds out of these CO2 cartridges. I'm going to try semi again, and I put up some more targets. I'm running out of them. You should see those K-cups. I just shoot them up. Try to get one of those cardboard ones. It's definitely firing bursts. It's gotta be. I just don't understand it. Why it's doing it. I think we're starting to run out of CO2 perhaps. It must be shooting lower because it's not as accurate now. That, or we're not shooting. Let's see what happened. We actually had BBs jammed. Makes a difference. Well, got everything. Shot it up pretty good. Okay, let's see how this is doing. I put just the cardboard ones up. My K-cups are getting really... There's coffee all over the place up there, I guarantee you. Smells like a doggone Starbucks shop. Yeah. Let's see what this will do again here. Gotta set the targets back up. That speed loader comes with this thing is pretty nice. I put some more in there. You know, this is going to sound weird, but I think it's firing a single BB? Maybe. But it's the actual bolt comes back more than once. I don't know. Anyway, that's the way it sounded. I really can't tell. It's kind of weird. Let's take a look here. And it keeps doing that here, which I don't understand. Kind of hard to shoot at one like that because you're just going to shoot right down the middle. But it's, I do think it might be firing in bursts. And what we're going to do, I'm going to put up something or other here that we can actually see if it's just shooting one shot. One thing I'm doing here too is testing, just see how many rounds we get off of this CO2, and well, we've had over 100 already because I've loaded this thing and I've even loaded it partially, and so you know we're doing pretty good. I've got to be getting close to 200 rounds I'd say now, but we're going to, I got it loaded again. We'll see what it does. I fired it. What I did too is I went up there and I fired at the piece of cardboard that we had that stick on target. Only one BB that I could see come out, unless they just followed one another right down the line. So I'm kind of thinking that's what's going on. This bolt is coming back like full automatic. But just for the heck of it, we're going to switch to full again, and we're going to pop off some of those up there. Now we'll put it back to semi. Set my targets. First I'll put it on safe, then I'll set up my targets, and we'll do it again. Okay, we're going to use it in semi-auto again, and I put my cans back up even though they're already blasted too. Switch to full auto and blast that last one. I'll tell you, there's plenty of CO2 left in that thing, so I have no idea how many rounds we'll get off that. And like I said, it's only around 50 degrees. I mean, you know, CO2, can you imagine what that'd be? But I'm not going to do a chronograph test with this. I may not do that until summer, because it is supposed to get around 70 coming up here in a day, supposed to be, but the wind is going to be supposed to be tremendous. We got wind warnings right now, 60-mile-an-hour winds, so I may not go ahead and try that, because that wouldn't be good for a chronograph either, especially shooting a BB, because wind really affects that. But what we are going to do is talk about what did this do otherwise. We did have still that hiccup with that thing. I think it's, I don't know, sometimes maybe bursts or maybe the bolt, it just isn't right, because when we first fired that, after I had put the gun protect in and worked on it like that, it was going one at a time and you could tell it. But then later it sounded, to me, it sounded like that, and I didn't look down at it. I mean, that's dangerous, sit there like this and pull the trigger. No, you never do that. Maybe I should have put the camera on it, just saying. But anyway, what we are going to do is talk about the targets. This was when I was first seeing how it was sighting, and then I fired a burst into there, because that's your best accuracy. If you're going to use semi-auto, do it in burst. Yeah, it's a lot of fun pulling the trigger down and emptying 25 rounds out like I did, but I'll show you what happens when you do that. This, see how that's all perforated? I know that's what I was doing when I was doing that. If you do it in burst like I did here, you knock the center out of it, or darn near close to it. And that's what I was doing with this other stuff, as you will see. I mean, look at these cans are clobbered. And shows you how accurate it is, though, because I was shooting at this, and that's what I was hitting. And same way with this one. I was shooting at the middle of it, and I was hitting it. And then when you do it full auto at it, you get them off to the side like this. Of course, some of these may have been when I was shooting them afterwards. There's another one, same way. So I won't bother with those. These are absolutely torn apart. That's the K-cups. We were shooting those, of course, and it was hitting those. There's one that's just really clobbered because I had got it into the top and was shooting at that. These, well, they were already torn up like you had seen, but I actually drilled holes. Look at that. That's how I did it. That's probably when I was shooting it like a burst, and just wanted, because you can tell that there's more than one BB into that spot. and the backs are just, they're just torn up. I mean, it really riddled them. So yeah, this thing is accurate. It's a good gun that way. There's no doubt about that. And I used it, and I'll show you here. I used it with the Ghost sight most of the time. See, I got that flip down. This is the pinhole sight. Put it up there. And I noticed this was down this way. So I was actually shooting that even with a handicap there at one point. But anyway, this seems like it's pretty much on. I was using the Ghost, and again, this is the closure one that you're going to have a little bit finer of a shot on it. But as I said, I use it most of the time with a Ghost. And these are prescription glasses, so they help. And you definitely want glasses on when you're shooting BBs, because as you may have been able to tell, they were bouncing around, especially when I put it on full auto. And we can put that there. That's the dust cover. It is on safe, as you can see. And what else? Well, one thing, we had a problem with this, but figured that one out, didn't we? That was right up front. Well, there's not much else to tell you about. Of course, these fold down, and this one, there, got it folded down. It was kind of caught for some reason. But it's you know, I'm not even going to give it a rating, because you can tell that I'm kind of pro and con. I was extremely excited about testing this gun at first, and still really like it. I like the weight, I like everything about it, except that goofy thing that we're having. Two things actually. One that you really didn't see. The one is the fact that it's got that semi-auto hiccup. The other is right here. When I pull this out to charge it up, it flips back as it should. I pulled the trigger the first time, and you probably heard it click, and I had to do it again. I don't know why it's doing that. That does not make sense to me. The one time when I put this in and the bolt was still open, I hit this right here, closed it, then I didn't have that. But I'm not going to have that all the time, because it went closed on me several times by itself. So anyway, that's some of the things. I'm going to let you make up your mind. I know there's a lot of you out there that's got them, that really love them. Maybe I got a fluke. Who knows? I mean, it is different. But it does shoot, as you can see. It shoots real good. And that I can't fault. How many rounds have we shot? I don't know. Maybe you've counted them. I haven't. I will say this: this thing here, this little loader here, that thing really does help. Helps a lot. I had that full to the top. Now, if I can find out how many BBs this thing actually holds, we're probably going to know how many I've fired out of here. And I'll look that up before we have the video there, and then I'll put that in. I'm going to font that in as to how many BBs we fired. So, until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.